Hey Sam, I've been reading about developing economies lately. It's fascinating how some countries are growing while others struggle. What do you think makes the difference?
It's a complex issue, Jake. Many factors come into play.
Jake and Sam begin to explore the intricate world of developing economies, setting the stage for a deeper discussion.
For starters, you have to consider natural resources. Some countries are rich in oil, minerals, or fertile land, which can boost their economies. But it's not just about what they have, it's how they manage those resources.
True. I read that countries like Saudi Arabia and Norway have leveraged their oil wealth effectively. But then you have places like Venezuela, which has all that oil and yet struggles. What's going wrong there?
That's a great example. Venezuela has had issues with corruption and mismanagement. Economic policies that prioritize short-term gains over sustainable growth can lead to disaster. Plus, political instability can scare off investors, making it hard for the economy to recover.
The conversation highlights the importance of resource management and the pitfalls of poor governance, providing real-world examples.
Speaking of political stability, I think governance plays a huge role. Countries with transparent institutions and a strong rule of law tend to do better, right?
Absolutely. Good governance fosters trust in the system, encouraging both local and foreign investment. When people believe in their government and the legal framework, they're more likely to invest in businesses and infrastructure.
Jake and Sam delve into the critical role of governance and political stability, emphasizing how these elements can make or break an economy.
And what about education? I imagine a well-educated workforce is essential for economic development.
Definitely. Education equips people with the skills they need to participate in the economy. Countries that invest in education tend to see better job creation and innovation. For example, look at South Korea. They transformed their economy through heavy investment in education and technology.
That's inspiring. But what about countries that don't have the same resources or infrastructure to invest heavily in education?
The discussion turns to education, underscoring its vital role in economic development and the challenges faced by countries with limited resources.
That's where international aid and cooperation come in. Organizations like the UN and NGOs work to support educational initiatives in poorer countries. Microfinance has also become popular. Small loans can help individuals start businesses and improve their economic situations.
I've heard about microfinance. It sounds like a great way to empower people, but are there any downsides to it?
Yes, there can be. Sometimes microloans come with high interest rates, and if people can't repay them, they end up in a worse situation. Plus, it doesn't address systemic issues. Microfinance is more of a band-aid than a cure.
That makes sense. So what other factors should we consider when discussing developing economies?
One important aspect is infrastructure. Poor roads, unreliable electricity, and limited access to clean water can stifle economic growth. Countries need to invest in their infrastructure to facilitate trade and improve quality of life.
I read about how some countries are using technology to leapfrog traditional infrastructure. For example, mobile banking in Africa has transformed financial access for many.
Exactly. Mobile technology has been a game changer in many developing countries. It allows people to conduct transactions without needing traditional banking infrastructure. It also fosters entrepreneurship, as people can start businesses more easily.
But do you think relying too much on technology can be risky? What happens if there's a tech failure or a cyber attack?
That's a valid concern. Technology can be a double-edged sword. While it can drive development, it also introduces vulnerabilities. It's crucial for countries to have robust cybersecurity measures and to educate people about technology to mitigate risks.
And how about the environment? I feel like developing economies face the challenge of balancing growth with sustainability.
You're right. Many developing countries are rich in biodiversity and natural resources, but rapid industrialization can lead to environmental degradation. Sustainable practices are essential to ensure that growth doesn't come at the expense of future generations.
So, What would you say are the key takeaways when discussing developing economies?
Well, I think it's about recognizing that there's no one-size-fits-all solution. Each country has unique challenges and opportunities. Effective governance, education, infrastructure, and sustainability are all critical components of economic development.
That's a great summary. It makes me appreciate how interconnected everything is. What do you think the role of young people like us is in this conversation?
Young people can be powerful agents of change. We can advocate for responsible policies, raise awareness about these issues, and even contribute to solutions through entrepreneurship or volunteering. The future is in our hands, and we have a responsibility to push for equitable development.
I like that perspective. It feels empowering to know we can make a difference. Maybe we could start a club at school to raise awareness about global issues and ways to help.
That sounds like a fantastic idea. We could organize discussions, fundraisers, or even partner with local organizations working on development projects. Let's brainstorm some more.
Absolutely. Let's meet up this weekend and start planning. I'm excited about the possibilities.
Me too. It's time to take action and make an impact, one step at a time.
The conversation between Jake and Sam highlights the multifaceted nature of developing economies and the importance of awareness and action among young people. By understanding the complexities of economic development, they inspire each other to engage in meaningful discussions and initiatives.